Okay, well, um, the tank destroyer thing is getting a little out of hand. People have been complaining lately in battles that there's just way too many tank destroyers out there. So to make the deal a little sweeter, I guess, they've decided to put a lot of tanks on sale this weekend, and they're all tank destroyers. So pretty much all of the tier 6 and 7 tank destroyers from all of the different lines of tank destroyers are going on sale this weekend. So if you've been waiting to get one or are almost there, you might want to get a little premium time and push through that tank. As you can see here, I have my S35CA, which last night I actually pushed through, not knowing there was going to be a sale today. I finally researched the next tank, which is the ARL V39. I'm not real excited about that tank, but now that it's going to be 30% off, I'm probably going to buy it. So I'm also going to be, I have finished my research on the the AT2, and so I can now get the AT8. So I will probably be purchasing that tank, but we have a bit of a dilemma here, and as you can see, I'm out of slots. Oh, I was hoping for a half off sale. I'm going to have to wait longer, it looks like. But I've just been too tank crazy. Now, I'll be adding a third slot because I probably am not going to keep this guy, the S35CA. Love the tank. I actually don't do super well with the win rate in it, but I like the play style. So, anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the stuff that's on sale. So first of all, recently they've been doing a lot of tank destroyer sales. So I have most of these sent from 8.8 and 8.9 already reviewed. So below in the description, you're going to find a link to or links to each of those reviews so that I don't have to redo them, because there's really no reason to go through the whole thing again, and we've just done them. But we'll kind of quickly go through the tanks that I've already reviewed. The AT-15A has been reviewed twice now since 8.8. A quick overview. It's got a hard front. It sees tiers 7, 8, and 9, and then below, of course, to 6 and 5. Got a pretty good gun. Low penetration, but if you're a good tanker, it's a very accurate gun, and you can hit weak spots with it. It's never going to be a game changer, and it's slow as all get out, but it's actually a pretty decent tank. It is weak here. People are going to shoot you there. It does seem like bullets go through this area, so and definitely here. So just be careful. But it's actually a pretty good sniper tank if you like the sniper tank style. And you can use it to train your crews, as you know, with any of the premiums. This one, I would say, 30% off. It's worth it. If you don't like slow-moving heavy tanks, though, and you get bored easily, this may not be the tank for you. And that brings us to our next tank for sale. This is the polar opposite. No armor. It's basically a turret on wheels. I have gone as far to say as this is the most fun tank in the game, or at least tank destroyer. I absolutely love this little thing. You definitely cannot penetrate anything from the front. It's got pretty low penetration. As you can see here, 113 to 188 is the average. So you're looking in the low, 130s, 140s in a tank that sees tier 9 battles. That's kind of hard to swallow. But actually, it does pretty well. And because it's so fast, you can flank very easily. You can get into positions that you normally would not be able to get into in a tank destroyer. So this is kind of a hybrid tank. It's kind of a tank scout destroyer, if you can imagine a scout tank with a gun that actually works. That's what we're looking at here. It is very team dependent. You're not always going to be the buzzsaw that changes the battle. Another hard thing about this tank is that it gets weighted as much as a tier 7 heavy. So the other team's going to get an IS-6 and an IS-3 and an IS, and your team is going to get an IS-6 and then you, and then maybe like a Tiger. So you're going to often be at a disadvantage for the whole team because you took this tank. So keep that in mind. It actually weights in as a heavy. Be aware of that. But this is a fun tank, and I'm mad at myself because I broke my rule and I bought it full price, thinking, oh, it just came out, it's never going to go on sale, or it's going to be at least a year before it goes on sale. And sure enough, 6 months or 7 months after the release, this thing is now going to be 30% off. So I just wasted 1,500 or 2,000 gold. Gosh darn it. But I will post the review for this below, just like with the AT-15A. We've already just done this. Great little tank. This is, like I said, this is pretty much my favorite tank. I will say this though, you have to eat your Wheaties before you play this tank. It requires full attention. You're not just going to go out there and bash around. You have to really you have to be on top of your game for this tank to work well. And if you are having a bad night or you're tired, you're not focused, you're going to struggle with this guy. So be aware that, sometimes I won't play it because I already know that, I'm not playing well, and I just like, well, I might as well not take into that, because this is not going to be a game changer once again, unless you're doing really well. And then you might actually turn the tide of battle. But unless you're at the top of your game, this is not a good go-to tank. So if you're feeling crappy, don't play this tank. The next tank that we've reviewed recently is the Dicker Max. The Dicker Max is a glass cannon. It reloads kind of fast, but it's still a bit of a wait. So you're looking at, I think, 6 or 7 seconds for the reload. The Dicker Max has ridiculous gun depression. The gun will go all the way, pretty much match this angle. So you can crawl up the side of the hill here and point your gun straight across. It really is a nice feature. However, they just recently released the Nashorn, which is pretty much, or Nashorn, or however you say it, it's pretty much the same thing as this tank. Some of the stats are a little bit different, but it's going to be the same idea, and it also has the great gun depression. So if you're looking for a non-premium alternative to this tank, the Nashorn is what you want. But this gets the premium, bonuses, so you can train your Nashorn crew in this, or any other of your German tank crews, or tank destroyer crews. And then you get a experience bonus, and you get your credit earning bonus. So it makes pretty good money. So once again, I will post the link for this review, which is also tied into this fella. And they had a sale a couple of weeks ago where they had both this and the Dicker Max for sale. So this, of course, is the I think it's the T150 frame, but I could be wrong. It bounces some shots. It has this megalithic, and this is what makes it a stunning tank. As you can see here, our standard shell damage goes anywhere from 330 to 550. Yes, folks, at tier 6. And that can be a game changer. If you get 2 of these and you have guys that know what they're doing, you can definitely change the course of a battle. Look at that gun. With, I would say an average penetration of right about around the 200 mark. So this is going to penetrate most of the tanks that you run into, and you're going to do a lot of damage. Now, it does bounce shots. And it's expensive to bounce a shot because the rounds are $1,200 a piece. But it's a fun tank. I really like the SU-100. No gun depression. Be ready for that. You can't point the gun down very far, so you're going to have to put the tank into bad positions sometimes to fire. But if you hang back and use it like a sniper, and you don't get too close to the enemy, you'll actually do pretty well in this tank. And so you'll see in the review how I do, and that's going to be linked once again below. The fun thing about this tank is it actually moves pretty quickly. It's not super fast, but it's got a traverse speed of 30, which is better than the Dicker Max, and a speed limit of 35, which is 5 below the Dicker Max. So you get this huge monster, but it moves almost as fast as this guy, and it's definitely faster than the AT-15A. So all of these tanks that I've shown you, I feel are worth it. So at 30% off, if you like the slow play style, it's worth it. This tank, you just need it. It's so much fun. You need it. Spend the money. No, I don't work for World of Tanks, so in fact, I don't get any money from this. I wish I did. My wife would be much happier with me. This Dicker Max, I think it's worth it. I mean, like I said, this is a unique play style. You definitely have to abuse the terrain. I see guys fail in these all the time. They just run out and they don't know how to play Tank Destroyer. So it's some, new player that doesn't know what they're doing, and they think they're going to get this great thing, and they run out there and they're like, I keep getting killed. Well, you're not playing it right. You have to use camouflage, and you have to hang way back and play it like a sniper. But when you do that, it's a fun tank. You're never going to be a game changer. Once again, this is not a game-changing... Let's try that again. This is not a game-changing tank. This has the potential of being a game changer. This does have the potential of being a game changer. So, this is a fun tank. It's so silly. Watch the review for this one because it's worth watching. It's fun to one-shot scouts. So that brings us to our 2 daily candidates. First of all, we have this tank. These are the tanks that I haven't reviewed yet, and we're going to go over this now. Okay, so this tank has a lot of controversy surrounding it. World of Tanks, they have a creed, I guess, that they definitely don't want to make the game a pay-to-win scenario. They want this to be a freemium game where the tanks are balanced well, and somebody that has money can't just go in and buy victories. So a lot of players who run up against these tanks, and some players who run these tanks, who run this particular tank, feel that it's overpowered. And the reason why is because it has the same gun as the Russian 7 and 8 and, let's see, tier 6. No. The S, I was going to say maybe the KV-1S, but the KV-1S has the gun that comes right before this. But this has the same gun as the IS, has the same gun as the IS-6, same specs anyway. And those specs are this. Kind of crappy penetration at 175, but not terrible. And especially for this tank, because it's fast, you can flank. Look at that rate of fire, though. In my IS, it's like 12 seconds. So we've got almost half of the rate of fire. Or, I'm sorry, double the rate of fire, because it can fire every 7 seconds. You can fire a round that does 390 average damage. Holy cow, that is brutal. So you can hit a tank twice when he can only hit you once. So when you look at that, people go, man, this thing is overpowered, and it's fast, and it's low to the ground, and it's got good camo. Yeah, it's a great tank. However, it does have some drawbacks. It's not super fast. Okay? We've got a top speed of 47 miles an hour, but it doesn't reach that too quickly. It's got a traverse speed of 42. That's pretty good. But let's look at the E75, or the E25. 65 and 44. So the E25 is close in maneuverability. It's definitely faster, but you're putting something that's almost the speed of the E25, but with a gun that will blast the crap out of anybody. Now, like I said, the E25 definitely feels faster. You reach those speeds forward and backwards much quicker than you do with this tank. This is based on the T-44, which is kind of a heavy medium for the Russians. But it's a great tank. But anyway, the weaknesses. Obviously, very thin armor. We're going to be looking at, 90 on the front. That's not very good at tier 7. However, it's got good angling, so you can bounce some shots if you keep the tank, hull down. However, there's an issue with that, and we'll get to that in a minute. 75 on the sides, yeah, anything is going to kill you there. And a scout can take you from the back. So there's some weaknesses there. And yeah, you do bounce shots with this angled armor. And man, I've made some people so mad with this tank because you pull right up to them, even if you're not on a hill, and they're aiming right at you, and they're like, "Ba-doink, ba-doink," and then you're like, "Kablam," and that's it. But the downside is this does not depress. I mean, you're pretty much looking at the gun depression right now. That's it. So you have to pull out in most situations and put yourself in danger to get this tank into a position where you could actually do damage. And that is probably the most major flaw of this tank destroyer. The second, and I would say less major flaw, is that the gun Well, it's not a sniper gun. It's pretty accurate though, especially with the patch. You know that with 8.8 or 8.7, that kind of fixed accuracy to be more accurate in the middle more of the time. So since you're going to hit towards the middle more often, that's going to help you. But look at it. It's got a slow aim time, 2.9 seconds. And it's got a .41 accuracy, which is not that great. So really, the role of this tank is very similar to a medium tank with a big gun. You're going to have to play in close. You're going to have to put it into situations where you're not so sniperish, and you're going to have to really rely on that front angle to hopefully protect you, which does not happen all the time. This is a seat of your pants tank. Some guys say this is more fun. I think the E25 is more fun. However, this tank definitely has the possibility to turn the tide of battle. Whereas the E25, maybe. But this tank will definitely make a difference on your team if you play it right. And it's not uncommon to get 4 or 5 kills in a match. And it's not uncommon to be sweating when you're done. Because it's intense. This is an intense tank to run. You have to get into situations that are dangerous. But doing so does pay off because of the amount of damage and the rate of fire. You can really tear up your enemy. Now, is it the end all tanks? No, because if you do stupid stuff, you're going to get into trouble and you're going to get killed. So that happens too. And let's go ahead and look at my service record with this tank right now. Vehicles. Hang on, I'm going to pause it. Okay. I've had 177 battles. Tier 7. 53% win rate. That's 2% above my average. So that's not terrible. Good average experience at 515. That's not, for me, as you can see from the other numbers that are around it, that's pretty good, for a tier 7 tank. I have not gotten my M badge yet. But this is a fun tank to play. And the battle performance, you can see after almost 200 battles, I'm still at 53%. That's probably going to stay there. It may even go up as I get better. Maybe not, but hopefully. Some of my tanks have gone up. That surprised me. The IS-3, man, I was really struggling with that. And I think the first 50 battles, I was like at 30% win rate. But now, look, I'm up to 57. So I've definitely gotten the feel for this tank. This was at 50. I'm now at 52. The ARL was at 48%. I'm now at 53. Don't look at that. That's definitely never going to change. For example, here, look at the two. Now we're looking at 7 versus 8, but the FCM, same amount of battles, 46% win rate. More experience, but ugh. So anyway, back to the tank destroyers. These tanks are pretty close. Look at 53 and 54. Definitely do more experience in this one than that one. Probably because I'm spotting things in this tank where the SU-100 you're hanging back. This tank is just ridiculous with a 60% win rate at tier 3. That's seal clubbing. Shh, don't tell anyone. So yeah, I am very happy with this tank, and I'm, hopefully going to improve on this one and get the win rate up even higher. But it's a good tank, and I haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't run it for a long time. Usually what happens is my son Ryan has one, and he's like, let's run, SU-100 or 122, and I'm like, how about this? And I take this, and together with this, I go out front, I get their attention and keep backing off because I'm solo, they can't hit me, and he comes in from the side and just kapow. So this is actually a really good teammate for the E25. If you guys can work together, you'll really make a huge difference in the battle. So let's go ahead and run a battle with this guy. All right. Now, as you can see, I still haven't enabled XVM, and I probably should at some point, but we'll see how this goes. They have two SU-122, so I'm going to be having some competition here. Everybody's going to rush the hill as usual. I think I'm going to go to the islands. See what kind of havoc I can wreak over here against their scouts, because usually their scouts and mediums come through here. So, come on. Really? Seriously? I did cut them off, but come on. And look, this sounds like we have a lot of good players on our team. Look, we got 2 guys sitting over there. That's not good. Look at all these. There's my daughter sneaking in the room. I think this is going to go poorly for us, but I could be wrong. Maybe thinking different will make a difference. But you can see, this is really not that fast of a tank. I mean, I'm sticking with the IS. I have not surpassed him, and I really haven't slowed down at all. So here's my first victim. Oh, bounce. Yep, and that's what you're going to run into with the 122. You are going to bounce a lot of shots, and unfortunately, you know, you have to hit weak spots with this. It's the same as with any of the Russian tanks. You get used to it, but yeah, and a low roll hit. But see, I've already bounced like 3 or 4 shots because these guys have little guns. So spam. So far, we're totally winning. But see how fast this thing reloads? I mean, I'm going to try. I think these guys will handle that, hopefully. Here we go. Now we're going to try to... This is a great position. Look at this. This guy's just going to get ripped to shreds. And in a minute, I'm going to get fired on. But, oh, Jagdpanzer 4. Mm-hmm. That was a big hit. I must have ammo racked him. Look how fast this reloads, though. I mean... This is like brutalizer, you know. Now he sees me. Hopefully he will hit me hard, but okay. Yeah, but it was worth it. It was worth it. Okay, so now I need to play it safe now because I'm running out of health. Yeah. Good team, man. I guess so. I guess we really did have the Unicums on our team. And I have no idea how much damage I've done, so we get to have a little surprise at the end and see exactly what we've done. But see, now look, this is not like the E-25 where you can fly up. So that's why this is a good second tank for the E-25. The E-25 will move ahead, and then you slowly creep after. But see the gun depression? I've got my gun all the way down. I could not hit that tank if I wanted to. Oh, man, they are all in the cap. This is bad. I don't know if we're going to get there in time. I guess so. Oh, man. Okay, push, guys. Push. There's their SU-122. He's got me in his sights. Oh, bounced. Angled. He was angled. I'm going to sneak around here and see if I can hit. Now he's at the right angle there. Oh, missed my opportunity. I'm going to have to push in. We need to stop this cap right now. Yep, I'm spotted. IS-3, it's over. I'm probably going to die. Yep, okay. But see, that was great. I mean, really. Now we're going to win. That's the question. They got a lot of damaged tanks in there, but yeah. As soon as I saw that IS-3 pointing at me, I knew I was done for. Okay, man, we're just tearing them apart. Let's see what happens. I'll stay because I want to see what happens. So, it's a close one, man. The IS-3. I wish I hadn't gotten killed by that IS-3, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I'm interested. What tier is that PZ? It's tier 7, okay. Can we win this? I think they can, but who knows? It looks like... It's Tiger. It's doing good. He doesn't know where to shoot. Oh, bye-bye. Oh, yeah. I wonder if he's got a smaller gun. That seems like an awful low damage roll. This IS's history. Yeah, there we go. So, looks like we just won the game. No coming back from that. But you saw, I mean, I would say what you just saw there is a typical game. For now, winning or losing, that depends on your team somewhat. But that, you know, the SU, you saw how many shots I bounced at the beginning off those tier 6 tanks. So they can't really do much about you. And here's our, this poor Stewart. He's just sitting there. He gave up. Goodbye. Oh, I guess they were saying that. I guess they were saying that their good guys were on that. So here, look. Okay, now I am premium. Keep that in mind. Without premium, I would have made 42,000 credits. That's still not bad. And let's look at the detailed report. I'm sorry. Yeah, look at that. Almost 2,000 damage. I received 8 hits, 3 penetrations. I fired 9 shots, had 9 direct hits, 7 penetrations. So once again, you are going to bounce. Just be prepared for that. Look at where I was on the leaderboard. Okay, so if we go by experience, I was the second highest experience on the team. If we go by damage, yep, here's a tier 8. And all the rest of them are tier 6s and so. Oh, no, there's another tier 8. Oh, look, I did more damage in a tier 7 than any of those other tanks. So, yeah, this is a great tank. Is it overpowered? Maybe. It's possible. Yeah, and I would say that is definitely, I mean, I only got 2 kills. I usually get 3 or 4, so is that a typical battle? No, that's not even a good battle for this tank. But yeah, that's a typical battle. So this one is going to be 30% off. Definitely do not miss out on this tank. And that brings us to our other tank that has not been reviewed yet. Oh, wait a minute. Back up. Here's what I use on this tank. And I should have told you this before. I just use the armor-piercing rounds. I try not to use APCR or any kind of gold ammo in a premium tank, because the whole point is to make money and to train your crews. I'm not interested in spending silver to win. I guess I should be, but sometimes I do. It depends on the tank. Some of the tanks I do, but for the most part, if it's a premium tank, I'm not carrying gold for silver rounds. But I use the gun laying drive. Obviously, your aiming time is slow. You want to speed that up. I use the gun rammer. You want to fire as fast as possible. I think I'm down around the 6-second mark with my 100% crew and the rammer. I think it makes it about 6, maybe 6.5 seconds. And then also the vents. Now, as the crew gets better, I've heard that the vents are not as useful as they should be. And so, at some point, I think when they get like their 3rd or 4th perk, you can switch it out. But I don't know. Whatever. I could probably do something different here. I don't even know what you would replace it with. Maybe a camo net, or to keep from getting tracked, maybe the enhanced torsion bars. But I don't really get tracked that much in this tank. So anyway, so back to our other review. Sorry. Thought I should fix that. Yeah. This little turd. This is a consummate seal clubber. Just like you would keep one of these guys in your garage, you will keep this in your garage. And I am going down the French tank destroyer line. This is the highest I've gotten so far, and I just unlocked the next one. So like I said, I probably will be buying that this weekend, but we'll see. But the crew is a direct match for this tank. So really, I honestly, I skip by the other French tanks. I think, let me look at the tech tree here. I went through the SAO too, and it is also a direct crew for the SAO 40, unfortunately. That's a horrible tank. Anyway, so if some people liked it, it has that big tumor on top, and unfortunately the ARL, the V39 also seems to have that tumor, so it looks like I'm going to be going through all that, getting shot in the head thing again, which is what I do when I run into those. Anyway, so we have this little guy. He's tier 3, and he holds your crews for your tier 3, tier 4, and tier 5 tank destroyers for the French. You can also train your other crews in them, but then you're going to be missing people, and you still probably should do it. But okay, so what outstanding about this tank? This is the consummate base defender. This tank has an excuse. It is slower than the TOG. I do not know where they get a 24 kilometer per hour speed limit. Maybe downhill with the wind at your back. But when you're traveling across flat ground you are going to reach a maximum speed of 13 kilometers per hour. Be prepared. And the traverse speed is 37, which is not bad. So it actually turns pretty well, but it is slow. So why would you want this tank? Well, it has a gun that is just as good at Tier 5 as it is at Tier 3. Yes, it's a Tier 4 gun. This 7.5 centimeter Pak 40. It does 98 penetration at Tier 3, so keep that in mind that Tier 3, 4, and 5, most of the tanks are under that. I think even like the KV-1S is 90. So this could theoretically, though you're probably going to bounce, but it could theoretically penetrate a KV-1S. However, you're not going to be facing KV-1Ss. The most you'll ever face is a KV-1, and that's rare because they seem to give this favorable tiering. So most of the time, you're going to be in Tier 3 and Tier 4 battles. And you're just going to rip the enemy apart. Let's see, let's take a look at the service record here. Statistics. Oops, vehicles. I'm gonna pause it. Okay, so I don't have a ton of battles in this tank because I feel guilty about seal clubbing. But not that guilty because I have 78 games with a 63% win rate. Average experience 329 for Tier 3. That's okay. Maximum destroyed in battle 7. Yeah, we get those, but it seems like you will have, okay, so in those 78 battles, I've destroyed 124 enemies. That's 2.7 per battle. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so let's look at the T-18, 2.2. Now, I have much less battles than this, 55 battles, but I have a 2.2 rate with that. Let's look at the Wolverine, 1.49. Let's look at a tank that I do really well in. Let's see here. 45, 60% the Su-76, 1.8. So, and that has way more battles, 159 battles. So at 78 battles already, look at the experience difference. This is another Tier 3, and that's really why I want to kind of compare these two. Higher win rate, almost 100 more experience per battle, and almost a full kill more per battle. So that gives you an idea. This tank has great, if you know how to play and you're patient, this is the sniper tank that you've been looking for having fun. It is never going to be a pusher. It has no armor. If you get surrounded, it's over. But this is kind of like the ground-based artillery. This tank will sit on the ground and will kill anything that comes at it. So, anyway, let's continue on here. I had a little problem there with my recorder. I wanted to make sure everything was working right. Okay, so any Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 5, and sometimes, like as you get up into the tiers, this tank, for example, is very specific in what it does. So I have chosen to go with strange equipment because it's more of a medium tank. This guy, similar thing. He gets attacked by artillery all the time, so I went with a strange piece of equipment. However, for most tanks, you'll see, for most of my tank destroyers, you'll see 2 empty slots. And in those slots, I use, voila, a camo net and binoculars. And I keep 2 pairs of each. So I keep a pair of nets and 2 pairs because a binocular is considered a pair, right? So I keep 4. How do you do this? There's 2 binoculars. I have 2 sets of binoculars and I have 2 camo nets. And that way I can play 2 tank destroyers at a time. So when one is dead, I can go grab another one and play it. And then you can demount these. I don't know if you know this or not. Most people do, but if you don't, here's a little tip. The binoculars, the toolbox, and the camo net, you can demount them for free. You don't have to pay gold. You don't have to destroy them. They can be swapped from one tank to another. So instead of buying 50 camo nets for all of my tanks, I just buy 2, and whenever I need one, I grab it. This can lead to problems because sometimes you forget. And I do forget. So sometimes I'll get into a battle and go, oh crap, I forgot my camo net. But anyway, now we're going to take a look here. Here's one thing that makes this tank unique. Look at that view range. And then you add the binoculars, which is going to add you, it's going to give you a 25% increase up to 500 meters. So you are actually hitting 500 meters with the binoculars when you're sitting still. So you can shoot something almost across the map. I mean, it really has a good range, and the gun is fairly accurate, so you're probably going to hit them and do damage. So that's one nice thing about this tank. That's a really big view range, especially for Tier 3. Let's look at the Su-76, which is my competing. So 350, yeah. Almost 50 meters shorter. It's got a decent rate of fire, 15 rounds a minute, so that's every 3-4 seconds, I think, is how that works. It's just not very many hit points. So once again, this is not going to be, this is your sniper. He has no body armor. He's meant to move around a little bit, but he's going to stay in position. So people are going to call you camper and stuff like that. Get used to it. This tank is a camper tank. A tank like the AT-15A, you're going to bully down the field and hit things, or you can snipe with it depending on your tiering, but you can push out with it and actually do some, what's the word I'm looking for? Some advancing. This tank is almost never going to move from the original spot. Maybe a little bit. Obviously, you're going to have to reposition, but it takes like half an hour to get a quarter of the way across the map. So anyway, I will say that this is going to be 50% off. Do yourself a favor. If you like tank destroyers and you like that sniper style play, this is awesome. You can't get any better than this because you're going to be at a low tier. You're going to make a decent amount of credit every time you do it, and it's just fun. It's fun going to those lower tiers and doing some killing. And I hate to admit that I do it sometimes, but this is what this was made for. This is a seal clubber. So let's go club some seals. Okay, so I had to open my big mouth and tell you about, oh yeah, you'll be fine on tier 5. I'm not afraid. I'm sure I'll be fine, but look at the tiering. I am Whittle. I'm a Whittle tank. I'm a cute Whittle. Okay, I'm stopping. Let's go get killed. But seriously, I'm going to snipe. And with my gun, I can do pretty well. Nobody listens to me. I just told them I'll be coming down to eat. Wow, we're going to lose. Oh boy. Good game. Yeah, I'm going to have to head over that way. I'm going to try to help them from across and see what I can do. The Su-85 is a good tank destroyer. Nice tier 5 tank destroyer. If you like that no turret style. If you don't like it, the Wolverine's even better because you get a turret. There's a lot of good tier 5. Actually, the French, the S-35CA, I really like that tank. I'm happy with it. In fact, I'm going to have a hard time selling it. I think I need to sell it to make room in my garage for the next one, but I'm semi-attached to it because it does. I lose all the time in that tank for some reason. I don't know why the S-35CA loses a lot, but I usually average about 600 to 1,000 experience. It fits my playstyle, and I'm deadly with it. It's got a big gun, slow loading, but deadly. So I don't know. I may keep it. I have to think about it. This Lee is going to be a thorn in my side. I know it already. Oh, man. Now you guys all know my opinion on the Excelsior. Oh my gosh. This is... Yeah, there you go. So there's the Excelsior. Already at 51% health. I want this thing down so I don't get spotted when I don't know that this is going to be a good example battle. We'll have to see what happens. Oh. Back down, guys. Let them come around. I don't know what the Excelsior is doing. Are they really going to try that? Oh, that's not going to go well. Hey, but we're winning so far. Look at that. Oh, here comes my chance. The T-14 is going to be stupid and pull right out. We're not going to hit him. Boink. T-14's got pretty good armor for when fighting against a Tier 4 gun. Oh, yeah, he's looking right at me. Oh. Yep. So there you go. That's how great it is at Tier 3. But you saw I did damage to both of those tanks, no issues. I just was in a bad position, and I was spotted. I should have been in a little further. See how far out I am from the rocks? Yeah, that was my mistake. So I could have continued beating the crap out of them instead of getting killed, but no. So anyway, we'll do one more battle because I'm hoping that I get a good tiering battle. So we'll pick up in a sec here. Okay, so here's a battle that's a little more, I guess you could say, standard for the FCM 50. FCM 36 Pack 40. The French are notorious for using the same letters and numbers in names. So the FCM 50T is, well, I guess it would be their manufacturing companies. So I guess it's not that surprising, but it's just funny. The 50T is the heavy Tier 8 heavy tank. The 36 Pack 40 is the Tier 3 tank destroyer that we are reviewing today. I'm definitely not going to go hill. Because, for obvious reasons. What is their artillery doing? That's a new move. Can't hit him. Whoa. That's a very odd placement. Let's get him. I think he broke that S-35's tracks, which is why that fellow's not moving at all. T2 light. No, I'm not. It looks like this battle's going to be kind of a dud again, so I may have to even go for a third. Because, man, what's going on up on the hill? Nothing good, right? It's an interesting battle. Looks like a lot of their horsepower is up on the hill, and we have very few tanks up there. Come on, Robert Lee. Yep. Yep, ne sont touché. Oh, Charlie. Oh, boy. What on earth was that? I guess that must have been artillery coming down. Good game. Oh, brother. Yeah, them's the breaks. That is the kind of thing that's going to happen to you when you're playing this tank. So don't be shocked when your team gets completely overrun, because it's tier, whatever tier this is, tier 2, tier 3. And poo-poo happens at these tiers. And I missed. Let's see, he'll turn. He doesn't even know I'm here. Bye. Oh, boy. Can I hit these dudes? Putting myself in a very bad position here, but let's see if I can help out. Yeah, I think they just drove right past me, so that's good. Bad. Yeah, Fouché. Bonjour. Very bad. Yeah. Well, can't do much when there's one team member left, but I think I probably did enough damage that I was able to save the game. I think we're going to run one more. Sorry. I like to have a good game in my reviews, but I also want you to see what really happens. So we just won. Thanks to me and my brilliant reset. Not bad, though. I mean, really, how much did I do? I didn't do that much. I got a sharpshooter award, made 14,000 credits. Well, premium. It would have been about 10,000 non-premium. It was the second top score. I mean, that just showed you how bad the overall game went for everybody, them and us. Welcome to Tier 3. So let's do one more. Oh, let's look at the last battle, too. I forgot. El Haluf was a victory. I missed that one. I didn't do much of anything on that one, but yeah. Next. Okay, Corellia. In general, I go to the left a little bit, but I'm going to definitely be playing base defense for this battle, so I can't really range out. Now, eventually I may have to move out. One of the things about being high tier tank is that sometimes you have to put yourself in a role that you don't normally put yourself in, but I think I should be okay staying back for a while before I actually have to move into position. So we're just going to go right up here. Let's win this. It's already not good when we have our S-35 is going to camp and snipe. They all went down that way. Let's see. Usually S-35 players are good players. Because this is the kind of game that they're waiting for. They really want to have this this type of tiering. Dang it. Why did I spot him and then he disappeared? Good camo crew. Okay, well. Got the BT-2 up here on the hill. Oh, he's dead. Snipe and see. Alright, where's this guy going? Come on. Get in my crosshairs, buddy. Dang you. So far, I haven't had to do anything, and we're already winning. Here they come. Now he's deadly. And I missed. Okay, I need to move out of here. I've been spotted. Now, if they have artillery, as you can see, it's already coming down on me. This is very bad. Missed. Man, I'm missing a lot of shots. Come on, crew. There you go. Now, the action begins. I think I'm going to move up. Look at, they're firing there, you know. Where I was, thinking, uh-oh. And I'm going to get spotted again. Dang it. I do have my crew slightly trained in camo, but this is bad. guy must not know I'm here. He does now. Even though I hit him once already, you'd think. Now, one of the nice things about these lower tiers, the artillery stays back at base, but they don't have the range to really hit me. They can hit about halfway across the map, most of the artillery that you're going to run into. Now that the West might be able to, but... I don't have my XVM range circle. I can't tell how far I can see. Now, I think they're probably going to come up from... Oh, no, look, I mean, this is over. Wow, so you didn't get to see any stellar battles. And I will say this tank does pretty frequently have stellar battles, but I guess you have to play it, you know, enough. 3 battles is not going to get the right demographic for what normally goes on, but 3 victories, so yeah, that's what you get with this. You get a lot of victories, and sometimes you don't really do anything. Sometimes you have to do a lot, but in this case, I had 3 pretty good teams that did a good job getting rid of the enemy, and I didn't really have to do too much, so yeah. But that gives you the idea of the gameplay and the type of damage you can expect from this tank. Once again, I made about 13,000 credits. No damage to my tank, and the ammo is really cheap. So I ended up spending, 560 silver to replace the ammo. I mean, I guess I did but look at this guy, dude. That Cruiser 3, man, he was 735 experience. He did a lot. He did a lot of spotting. A lot of damage, too, for a Tier 3 tank. That's 551's pretty high for a Tier 3. But, yeah, I mean, there we are. So, that's the Tier 3 FCM Pack 40. And we've definitely gone over a lot of tanks today, but I hope this was helpful for you guys with the sale coming up. And I may do some more. It depends. I got a pretty busy weekend ahead of me, but I also own, some of these other tanks like the T-25AT. I have the Hellcat. I don't have the Jackson anymore, but I have some of these other tanks too, so maybe I'll do a couple of reviews on some of those tanks too, if I have time. But like I said, I'm pretty busy right now, so we'll see. But anyway, those are the tanks that are on sale that are premium this week, and hopefully that helps you decide if you're going to get them or not. Like I said, most of them I feel are worthwhile. I really like tank destroyers, though. So if you're a tank destroyer player, this is a great sale for you. Have a great weekend, and please don't forget to subscribe.